Thank you, Chairman Brooks, Ranking Member Edwards, distinguished members of the subcommittee. Secure World Foundation is dedicated to the long-term sustainability of the space environment so that all of humanity can continue to use space for benefits here on Earth. The growth in space debris and increasing congestion of critical regions of Earth orbit present significant challenges to space sustainability, and addressing those challenges is a key part of our work. Regarding the threat that space debris poses, there are three categories of complementary activities that can help address that challenge. The first is space debris mitigation, limiting the creation of new debris from human activities in space. The second is active debris removal, also known as remediation, which aims to remove some of the existing pieces of debris to help prevent future growth in the debris population or to reduce the collision risk to satellites in highly congested regions. The third activity is space traffic management, which I define in my testimony as minimizing the negative impact of space debris on space activities. All three of these activities are enabled by a fourth, space situation awareness, broadly defined as characterizing the space environment and its impact on activities in space. The U.S. government's strong efforts on space debris mitigation over the last decade and a half are a good start, but need to be part of a more comprehensive approach. My written testimony outlines three major steps that can be taken in this direction. The first is to find ways to harmonize the implementation of the debris mitigation guidelines across the various regulatory agencies that currently have authority. Doing so can result in a more efficient and effective process with benefits to commercial industry and innovation. Second, this subcommittee can call on the executive branch to articulate a comprehensive strategy for dealing with existing space debris, which may potentially include active debris removal. Third, the subcommittee can work with the executive branch and other committees with jurisdiction to re-examine the roles and responsibilities for space situation awareness and space traffic management. The key question facing the U.S. government moving forward is whether or not the Department of Defense should continue to be the single Federal agency responsible for all space situation awareness activities and providing operational space traffic management for the world. I believe the answer is no. While space surveillance began as a national security function, it has evolved into more than just national security. It plays a fundamental role in the breadth of space activities being conducted by not only the military, but also civil government agencies and the private sector. Thus, I believe it is time for the U.S. government to shift responsibility for part of the SSA mission that directly supports safety of space flight to a Federal entity other than the DoD. This shift will allow this new entity to focus on building relationships with commercial and foreign actors, take better advantage of private sector innovation, and establish trusted services with all space actors. The DoD would certainly retain responsibility for and a focus on the national security aspects. Making this change is not without considerable challenges. First and foremost is determining which Federal department or agency should be assigned this new role. One option is to assign it to an agency that already has existing authority for regulating and licensing private sector space activities. Another option is to assign it to a Federal agency that already has significant expertise in space operations and space debris. A third option would be to assign it to a new Federal agency with both regulatory powers and operational responsibility. Which of these options is best depends upon the long-term priorities and goals for the U.S. government and the role it wants to play in global space activities. This proposed shift in responsibility, I believe, puts the U.S. government in a better position to harness the private sector innovation currently ongoing and improve its own capabilities and security in orbit. It is very similar to the DoD's current approach for both satellite communications and space-based remote sensing. In both of these areas, the government focuses its efforts on exclusive niche capabilities the private sector cannot provide. The end result has been an increased capability for the military, lower cost to the taxpayer, and a booming commercial industry. It has become almost trite to point out that the space world has changed, but in the context of this hearing, it is worth making the point again. The continuing expansion in the number of space actors, the types of space activities, has created a complex space environment. Technological diffusion has commoditized space capabilities, fueled a surge of private sector innovation, and created the possibility for many new uses of space for benefits here on Earth. It is vitally important for the U.S. government to evolve its approach to stay abreast of this ongoing change and continue to maintain its leadership role in supporting the safety of space activities and encouraging innovation. Thank you for your time, and I will be happy to answer any questions you may have.